Hello, everyone. Just hello. Is this working? I've been testing this microphone for a couple of days now, and it should be fine. Should be. Can anyone hear me? In fact, I can just check right now on my phone. Ah, I can hear myself on the phone. That's good. Right. So, to anyone who is watching, welcome to Carbon Racing Series, Round 9 at the Hungaroring. Today is patch day. The Imola circuit was finally finally entered the game. It only took about 4 months. It took quite a while, huh? But finally Imola is in the game, and already a cheater has taken the number one spot, which is typical. Absolutely fraggin' typical, innit? But we're not on Imola tonight. We're obviously at the Hungaroring. And let's see what the settings are, shall we? We might have the esports pit release activated. Um, Pit release is. Oh, that's the assist. Let's see what the options are. Pit release, assist off, pit assist off. What is it going to be saying? Unsafe pit release is on, so that's what it is. Players will ghost through any car while in the pit lane. The car will not wait for a safe release and will be able to enter the pit lane as soon as their pit stop is complete. Cars will stack if they share a pit, but other vehicles will ghost through them. At the pit lane exit, cars will be separated. I'm not certain how that's going to work. When it's the cars will be separated at the pit lane exit. Thank you to whoever has subscribed. I'm already in the lobby, Colin. So yeah, don't know how that's gonna work. Chris Pussy. Don't know if that's someone who's part of the CRS Discord or if it's just someone who's just decided to watch. But whoever you are, thank you for watching. So we should have a mostly full lobby tonight. CRS Bradley is in the Alfa Romeo tonight, as Bradley is just a reserve driver and not a Ferrari full-time driver. We've got both of the Aston Martin drivers. In fact, let me just see who is supposed to be in tonight. Let's see. So we've got 16 people in the lobby at the minute. We've got registrations. So we should have both of the Red Bulls. We have one, I can see, we have Ivan. Dan Edwin is not here yet. Hyper has moved from Williams to Mercedes to replace Tim VD. Pookie has earned himself a full-time race slot in the Mercedes after his victory at the British Grand Prix last week. So Pookie is no longer a reserve driver, he is a full-time driver. Both McLaren drivers are here tonight. We've got Snaps, okay, so Snaps and Ben Dixon in the Ferraris. Snaps, I think, is a reserve driver too. Anas and Faco. Well, Faco is here. Don't know about Anas. I think Anas did say they had a issue with their wheel, or maybe I'm getting my people mixed up. No sign of Darth. I think Darth is not not been able to take part for a little while, which is unfortunate because Darth is a decent driver. Got both of the Aston Martins, Colin and Lennart. Both of the Alpines in Toss / Tim. I think we'll just call him Tim because that's his the current account he's using. And where is Sam? Sam is here. Bradley in the Alfa Romeo we already mentioned. We've got in the Williams, Crowan and Cringe F1 comments. We'll just call him Cringe, who has replaced Hyper. And then we should have Aaron in the Haas and Crazy Steve in the other Haas. So Dan Edwin has just turned up. So we're still waiting on 2 more drivers. That would be Crazy Steve and I believe Anas. Yes, that's it. Anas in for the deputizing for Darth and the AlphaTauri. So just 2 drivers got to show up, but the race is going to be delayed anyway. We've had technical issues, unspecified technical issues. I don't know what they are. Crazy Steve has to actually download the update, so he's going to have to join as soon as he can. Let me know what you think of the new microphone, by the way. It should sound okay. I've also got a noise cancelling application in the background called Crisp. So that should... There won't be any static-y sounds going on with any luck. Alright. So we are just waiting for 2 people. Steve, who we know is downloading the update, and Anas, who signed up. Let's check the registration channel. They signed up. Must be reserve. Yes, a reserve driver signed up saying they were ready and available, and hasn't shown up yet. And if you don't show up, despite saying you can participate, signing up, if you don't show up, you get penalty points, and you will get a quali ban at some point if you amass enough of them. Not a race ban, though. You'll have to start at the back of the field because you've inconvenienced everyone else. Like I said, hopefully the new microphone sounds good. I'll be irritated if it doesn't, but it should sound good. I've listened to it. I've recorded a video already, and it should sound half decent. I'm going to need to grab my controller in a second, so if you hear a disconnect sound, that's my controller being stupid, because it's got a bit of a faulty cable. Oh no, it hasn't decided to fake a disconnect this time. Oh, what's going on here? Oh yeah, I've got my phone there. Right, so loading into qualifying for our first session. It looks like we're only going to have 17 people on qualifying, as Steve has only just started downloading the update. So it's going to be a while. Steve will have to join in the race and will have to start at the back of the grid. That sound better? I've just adjusted the microphone. It was in a funny position. Sounds good. Good, good, good. And Aaron has had some sort of disconnection already. So that's irritating. But they're still in the game, so they should be able to join back. Join back up. So who will be out into the pit, into the track first? Not certain. Tiamo Power is looking like he's going to go around the mediums first. Do we want telemetry? Nah, don't need telemetry. Lap data, track map. It's an... Ooh, lots of people going at the minute. So we've got a blue car. That's Sam is out on the track first. Car number 53. I can see we might have poor... Okay. We've got poor FPS, so I'm going to briefly go back to the menu. Not the menu, my desktop. And then go back. Yeah, I can see that, mate. I'm gonna see how things are going. I did say there might end up being some issues tonight as the internet's been a bit funky. And it's looking better on the desktop anyway. Go back to the game. How does it look? Much better there, so we'll stick with it for now. Tiamo Power is doing outlap on medium tyres, evidently trying to use them up before Q2. So Sam is the first driver to start a lap here. FPS fix when going on board. Well, we'll have to try it at a different time. Sam, first person on a flying lap here, and has already invalidated. So that's probably a bit irritating. We've got Tiamo Power as the next person on a flying lap, I think. Let me just turn off the detail there. Flying through up the second straight to turn 4, goes purple, but then again, he is the first person doing a valid timed lap here. Car is not looking too stable here, as he goes into the chicane, the hated chicane. But I have a setup that I think works pretty well around here. If anyone can tell me what the weather's going to be like, I can see that it's looking quite dark and cloudy, but is it going to be a wet race or a dry race? That I don't know, as I don't get that information as a spectator. Going around turn 15? I need to remember what the turn numbers are. So we'll ride on board with Tiamo for a bit longer. As he goes across the line. 1:17.1 is the time to beat. And we'll go down. That's Pookie on an out lap. Hyper is coming around. Sets 1:15.9. First man into the 1:15s. And Crowan guns 1:16.4. Wittenheimer goes 1:16.7. We've got the other Williams of Cringe goes third fastest, 1:16.5. And Ben Dixon goes fastest so far, 1:15.6. Colin, that's not Colin. He set his time. He's gone second fastest, 1:15.8. We'll ride on board with Dan Edwin here in the gorgeous white Red Bull. Down towards the line, maximum attack, heading towards turn 1. Hard on the brakes. Down into second gear. Up into third gear before you hit the DRS zone. Got a bit of traffic up ahead, and Colin and Leonard round turn 2 very nicely does it. Into turn 3. No oversteer, no sliding around. The car is planted to the track. Taking a lot of curb through turn 4. Through turn 5, don't hit that curb on the inside. That was the auto spin. Bit of a loose rear end. Snapper oversteer. 6 and 7. 8 and 9. car looking absolutely planted. 10 and 11, which feels a lot better in the current patch than it did before. Pookie goes fastest, 1:15.4. Turn 12, turn 13. It's crazy Steve is on the outside there. Don't know how he managed to join. And turn 14, the final corner. This is looking like a pretty good lap from Daniel Edwin here, but he only goes 7th fastest, 1:15.8. Behind, we've got Colin going into the pits with that hideous new halo attachment for the Aston Martin. I preferred how it was before, but Aston Martin thinks that's more aerodynamic or something. It's hideous. I hate it. Why did you have to ruin it? Tiamo's invalidated. Wissenheimer is on a flying lap, I think. He's 3 seconds slower, so this is a cooldown lap. Colin Hyper is 2/10 up on his previous best as he comes around turn 13 here. Regarded by many as one of the worst corners in Formula 1. I don't know about that. I prefer this one less, if I'm honest. Turn 14. Across the line, he improves to P5, 1:15.5. Pookie behind. 6 seconds down on a cooldown lap. We've got a Williams behind. That's Crowan. He's starting a flying lap now. Leonard coming into the pits. Who's coming around the corners? That's Tim. There's a Ferrari going slowly. Currently, Bradley has gone fastest. 1:49. I think this guy deserves a race seat, but I think every seat has been taken so far. I think he's going a maximum attack here. Going around turn 2, we've got a yellow flag from the slow-moving Williams. Cuts across the curb there and invalidates. So this lap is... he's still attacking, so I don't think he realizes that he's invalidated yet. Up ahead we've got Aaron, who is still not rejoined. Crazy Steve has gone 10th in the second Haas. Pookie comes across the line, just slower. Basically 600ths of a second slower than his previous best. So this is a very, very good lap. Who's behind? Snaps retires. I'm not sure what's gone on there. Orange car behind. Is that a crash? It looks like he's crashed. So Snaps has managed to kill himself. Wrong word to use. He's managed to crash himself on out the exit of turn 11, which is unfortunate. As Fakeaways comes across to set the second fastest time, but he's 3/10 down on Bradley. So 1:15.2 for the championship leader. And Leonard looking like he's got a lot more pace this weekend. He's a 1:15.4. Almost exactly 2/10 down on Faco. Colin on an outlap. Bless me. Colin comes around to start his flying lap now. DRS wide open on the run into turn 1. Hard on the brakes. I guess that's down into second gear. Oh, a snap of oversteer on the exit of turn 1 there. So this lap, I would be surprised if he manages to go faster. The nose cam, yep, he's a 10th down. He could, and he invalidates at the exit of turn 4. So I'll have to treat the rest of this lap as a cool-down lap. Only 2 cars out on track at the minute. 3 cars even. We've got Faco and Crazy Steve. I think Faco is on a cooldown lap. No, he's on a in lap. Oh, someone's had a crash maybe? Don't know. There was the crowd decided to make noises. Is there a car coming in? Yes, there is a car coming out. Pookie is retired, by the way. He reckons that lap is good enough. Not sure why the crowd is going, ooh, ah, when there's clearly nothing happening. Colin coming round to start his next attempt at a flying lap. See if he can do better. Down towards turn 1 again. Gonna want to try and mitigate any snap. You don't want to snap. Up into 3rd gear early. Controls the rear. Does not get any oversteer. Takes a lot of curb onto the entry of turn 2. Takes a lot of curb on the apex too. Not something I would have done. But I'm not as good a driver as Colin is, obviously. Manages to stay on the track, inside the white line. As strict corner cutting is evil. Chicane you want to take reasonably slowly. Lots of curb towards turn 7 or 8 or whatever one it is. To turn 10, turn 11. Not as planted, stays off the track to somewhat. As a oversteer, snap oversteer on the exit of 12 there. That's going to compromise him somewhat. I've not been paying attention to the sector times. I don't know if he was up or not, but we'll see how that snap affected him. And he's actually 3/10 up. He's gone P6, but who knows what he might have done without that snap of oversteer. Colin retires. Tiamo Power on a fast lap here. Through turn 11 he goes. Nice and planted. Wonder what his wing levels are at. Nice high wing levels, but he's got traffic in the form of a Red Bull and a Williams, so that's not going to be helping him much. He's going to be contesting with a dirty air, so he'll be getting quite a bit of understeer. But a bit of a slipstream into the finish line. 1:15.7 goes P9. Much better than his time on the mediums. You know, Crazy Steve is slightly slower than his personal best through Sector 2. Gonna want to improve that time. As currently, Wisenheimer, Tim, and Sam could all... well, if they improve, they can push him down. Sam is definitely going to want to improve, but he's just going on his outlap now. We've got a yellow flag in Sector 2. That's a red... oh, Crazy Steve goes round. Car number 16 somehow. Apparently, it's Mick Schumacher using Charles Leclerc's number. So Crazy Steve has had to abort that lap. And we've got another car going around. That looks like Tim, who's had a crash in turn 3. Wisenheimer starts a lap. Behind him is the Williams of Crowan, the other McLaren of Tiamo, and the Red Bull of Dan Edwin. Got yellow flag already. Could be the game being strange. No, it's Crowan who's just completed a lap, I think. Letting the McLaren of Tiamo Power past. Wisenheimer coming through turn 5, a rather awkward corner. Gets a little bit of a snap on the exit. Through the chicane. Easy does it. Nicely does it. You don't want to mess up here. This is the the hardest part of the track. They don't call it Monaco without the walls for nothing, you know. goes purple in the second sector. Don't know if that's a personal purple or an overall purple. Dan Edwin has crashed, I think. We'll see what happened to him as we keep an eye on Wisenheimer, who goes. Wisenheimer doesn't prove to P12. Didn't catch what happened to Dan Edwin there, so Dan Edwin is on the cusp of being knocked out. But that's only if Sam can find more than 2.5 tenths. And he is faster in Sector 2, but not by much. So there's a lot on the line here. Sam could get out of Q1 here. He could get into Q2. But it depends on this lap. How fast is he going to go? He improves by 0.181 of a second. So he has got himself into Q2 at the expense of Dan Edwin. I think it's because Dan Edwin's had a... I don't know why it's put Dan Edwin down into 15th, honestly, because he has the better time. But I guess because if you crash, that for some reason means you start behind the people who didn't crash. Which is stupid, if you ask me. He should be up in 10th. So Sam gets himself into Q2 at the expense of Dan Edwin because of game things, which is stupid. So technically, no one has to go out for another lap here. It's it's decided, really. Aaron can't join back in. I mean, he can't get a lap in, even if he does join back in. And Sam has retired, actually, so... Migrating host, we're having issues with Colin, possibly. What's going on? I'm gonna check the Discord. Colin has left for some reason. Two drivers are glitched and were not able to do the qualification. So, unfortunately, we're gonna have to do qualifying again. So this is highly irritating. We start the full quali and race. So we're going to be doing full quali again. Okay. Two drivers glitched. I guess that was Aaron, possibly. Here's the notifications. That's not what I was looking for. Announcements. Yeah, two drivers glitched. They were not able to do the qualification for some reason. At this rate, I'll need to order food. I'm hungry. So we've just spent 18 minutes for nothing, really. Goes into qualifying too, even though there's only 5 people left in the lobby, so I need to... Come on, just load things so I can exit. I need to get into the lobby. The new lobby. People were not able to join, so, yeah. What? That's not my logo. There we go. I'm not fakeaways. I'm not an imposter. Boom, 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 boom. However it goes. Yep. I know. So, Q1 has just been a massive waste of time so far. And I need to tell you something. When I started the stream, I only had about 200 minutes of my free crisp left. So, I mean, I don't think this is gonna take 3 hours, but, yeah. If I need to, this is, really irritating, because that's just a waste of the time. I think I'm just gonna order some food, if I'm honest. No, I don't know. It's better to get food and eat it at this time than it is to eat it at, like, I don't know, whenever we finish. 10 or 11 or whatever. Huh. 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 My local McDonald's has had its delivery fee lowered. Well, thank freak for that. It used to be £3.99, even though it's only a mile away, and evidently they decided, actually, you know what? That is a bit extortionate. So it's now only £2.29, which is still irritating, but hey, whatever. Anyway, we're going back into qualifying one. I think I don't have the time to pick up food, so I'll just have to go hungry. In fact, what I will do is I will actually go get a quick drink. So, be right back. And I'm back. So, first man out on track was Crazy Steve in the Haas. Have we lost a person? I don't know. But both Ferraris. Well, Anas never turned up, and Aaron has disappeared. So, We have lost people. Yeah, my throat's a little dry. Mouth is a little dry, so I need to get something down my throat. Snaps is going incredibly slowly. No idea why. I'll go on to Steve here as he goes on to his flying lap. Down into turn 1 into the first DRS zone. Let me just pull up the stream on my phone again because I've lost it. Let's see what the frame rate is like. Excuse me, phone. I'd like to look at it. Looks okay. Hello, Nick the Greek. Hello, everyone who is watching. Apparently, there's 12 people watching, which is cool. At least there's some people watching the proceedings as the Haas goes through turns 9 and 10. That's it. Can never remember the numbers here. In fact, I can never remember the numbers, period. Maybe that's how useless I am. Obviously, Steve goes purple through Sector 2, as he's the first man on a flying lap here. He's not invalidated, which credit where credit is due. Not everyone has been able to manage that this weekend. Or at any race, we've had a spin maybe in Sector 2. Steve goes fastest, obviously 1:16.2, that's the benchmark, but Hyper goes 1:15.7, 5/10 quicker than the Haas. Colin is the next car across the line, and he goes faster still, 1:15.3. Pookie in the second Mercedes, last week's winner, goes fastest, 1:15.3 this time. Both the McLarens behind Wiesenheimer and Tiamo. Across the line, go 5th and 6th. Leonard goes fastest, 1:15.1. I think there's been an invalidation for Ben Dixon in the Ferrari. Curran goes 6th. Tim goes 6th in his stead. And Snaps goes 9th. Bradley comes around to the final corner. Oh, goes round! Oh, that was caught that just in time, and he still manages to set the 11th fastest time, the slowest time so far. So he didn't lose too much, if I'm honest. Fakeaways had a disconnection. Oh, and his tires appear to have been overheated. Collins left again. Don't tell me we're going to have to restart again. Oh. And Bradley retires. What's going on here? Oh, please don't tell me we're going to restart again. Sam might be having issues. Yeah, something's going on with the lobby again. That cringe has pulled off. Tim's left. Yeah, something's going on. Sam has apparently been kicked from the server. Huh? Yeah. People are alt-tabbing by the sounds of things. So we have to restart again. Yeah, don't alt-tab when the game is loading. Please, guys. Because apparently you're gonna get kicked. So I swear I'm gonna strangle someone. Okay. Last restart. If you mess up again, you're not getting in, okay? I can only apologize for the events that are happening. This is embarrassing. Trying to bring you a quality stream here, and things are just going wrong. It's not the fault of anyone here, I don't think. It's just the game being stupid. I think you could actually Alt-Tab on the last game and it would be fine. I don't know. Issues. It's all there is, really. I need to not play with the bolt, the bar on my microphone arm, because that will probably create a lot of noise. Oh, Hyper has added me to his friends list. Why, thank you. I shall try and add you to mine too. And now we go back into qualifying. This time it's short qualifying. So full qualifying is just being proven to be a disaster for one reason or another. So we're just going to do short qualifying, get qualifying out of the way so we can do some racing. This means it's going to be a lot more hectic, I think. 18 minutes of action, hopefully. I don't know if that's 17 people there. We might have lost another person. We'll have to wait and see until the game loads. How many people are in the lobby today? We have lost someone. There's no sign of Faco. We've lost Faco. What's going on with Faco? Where is the Faco? He's in multiplayer, so something has gone wrong. Why is Faco in the wrong lobby? Oh, wait. What? We've got Nikita Mazepin. Apparently. That's not Mazepin, sure. What's going 97? No, that's Crowan, surely. That's meant to be Crowan, but I don't know why it says it's Nikita Mazepin when it's not. Oh, Faco is here. So I thought we lost Faco. We haven't. It's Crowan is having an identity crisis, and once again, Snaps is crawling on his outlap. Ben Dixon is this time the first man out on track, with not Nikita Mazepin behind. Is it Mazepin? It is Mazepin-ish, sort of. It's car number 8, fake Romain Grosjean, coming round turn 14 to start the first flying lap of what should hopefully be the last qualifying attempt of this event. Hard into turn 1. Through turn 1, CRS open on the line, not later on as most real Formula 1 drivers prefer. Moving through turn 2 now. We need the lap data. Cross the sector line with a 26.935. Invalidates out of turn 4. Does not realise. We'll follow on with Mazepin. Cohen here. It can't be Mazepin because he's actually driving at a decent pace. What's the sector 2 time gonna be? We don't know as he comes through turn 10. Turn 11, flat, foot to the floor, doesn't go off the track, so he's not invalidated. Goes purple, 53.9. Through 12, we've got a yellow in sector 1. That's an Alpine, by the looks of things, who's gone off. He's lost a section of his front wing. First lap time on the board, what the benchmark is going to be. At this time, we don't know. It's a 1:15.9, so that's a decent time. Across the line behind him is Crazy Steve, 1:16.0. Behind him is Wisenheimer and Tiamo. Tiamo goes fastest, 1:15.8. Wisenheimer, just behind him, goes slowest time so far, 1:16.3. There's an Aston Martin setting a time behind him. He has not set a time, that's an invalidation. Bradley goes second fastest, 1:15.9. Hyper goes fastest, 1:15.2, smashes the benchmark out of the park, 6/10 faster than Tiamo Power with a 1:15.2. Faco starts his lap 2 in the AlphaTauri. Across the line goes a Red Bull. Snaps starting his lap now. Or is he? He might be setting a time actually. 1:15.658, as it's a very good time from this driver who I don't recall if we've seen him before. Sam coming around the corner, he's invalidated. Ben Dixon comes into the pits, as is Mazepin / Crowan, who is now Crowan. So Crowan has regained his identity. He is not Mazepin anymore. Meanwhile, we've got Wisenheimer going to set a faster time. No, in fact, I think he was either on a cooldown lap as Colin goes fastest, to almost a little over a 10th faster than Hyper's time. Ivan goes second fastest in the Red Bull. We're trying to keep up. We've got a Mercedes. Faco is next. He goes only 9th fastest, 1:16.2. He's on the mediums though. Dan Edwin in the white Red Bull has got an invalidation. 1:15.7 would have put him 5th. So he's going to want to either get a cooldown lap or bolt on a fresh set of soft tyres. Snaps has spun at the final turn, and he's the auto reset has messed him up. Man, just go around and complete another lap, man. Don't try to go around. Don't go the wrong way, you'll get disqualified. So just get the lap in. Wisenheimer coming around the final corner. He's 3.5 seconds down, so he's going to be putting a new set of tyres on. Colin is also pitting, as is Ivan. Dan Edwin in the white bull has invalidated again, so it's not been a very good session for Dan Edwin here. Faco behind. Ooh, bit of understeer there. Didn't look the happiest car. Medium tyres, obviously not the tyre of choice. There's the Alpine of Tim goes onto his flying lap. I've got 2 Ferraris. We've got Ben Dixon on an out lap and Snaps potentially on a flying lap. He's invalidated, however, so this time won't count. We've got Tiamo Power on an out lap and Bradley on an out lap too. Pookie is also on an out lap. There are lots of people coming out for an out lap. Currently, it is Tim who's on a flying lap here. Oh. Exiting turn 5, going to the chicane of 6 and 7. Looking very slow there, but taking it very easily. The chicane is evil. Thought he was going to go spinning around for a second there. Turn 10 and 11. Planted to the floor. Into turn 12. Nice and easily does it. Yellow flag in sector 2. That's not sure what's going on there. Maybe it's Williams as Tim comes around the final corner. Across the line, and that's going to be 6th place with a 1:15.9. Next car on a flying lap. Oh, there's a bit of a traffic jam in sector 2. Not sure what's going, if there's been any damage occurred to anyone. Ben Dixon coming around to the final corner. He is absolutely flying. Onto the start-finish straight. DRS open across the line, and he goes 4th. 1:15.3. There's a... Leonard starts his lap now. We've got traffic jam behind. Ride on board with Cringe as he's aiming to set a lap time. Actually, no, he's on an out lap. My mistake. Oh, more teamwork between the McLarens as Tiamo is providing a slipstream for Wissenheimer. Bradley goes fastest. First man into the 1:14s. Almost... that is 5/10 faster than Colin. You know, Faco is starting a lap now. We'll ride on board with not Pierre Gasly. But the game is obviously confused. Wouldn't be F1 2021 otherwise. Turn 4 through turn... Oh, Crazy Steve has retired on the exit of turn 4. And that's a very damaged looking Haas. So Steve is out, and it's looking like he'll be knocked out in Q1. Baco taking the grass into the entry of turn 8 through 9. A slight left hand over 10. Oh, bit of a wobble, bit of a snap. Goes off the track, but he keeps his time because the game is stupid. Takes a bit of curb through turn 12. Another snap of oversteer. Car is on the edge of control. And another snap on the exit of 13. This car is not looking happy around here. Manages to keep hold of it through 14 though, and goes 1:15.3. That's P6. He's going to want to improve that time. Bradley on another out lap, I think. No, he's coming in. We've got a Aston Martin of Colin, who's improved to 1:14.9. And actually, no, he hasn't. That's Ivan who's gone 1:14.9. Pookie coming in. There's a Red Bull behind him. That is Dan Edwin. He's invalidated again. Leonard is also coming in. He's tried his luck on the medium tyres. It hasn't worked. Still 7 minutes of the session to go yet, at the moment. Snaps coming in. Wissenheimer coming round to finish his flying lap that we saw starting a minute ago. He only goes 13th, so the slipstream has not helped him by much. Dan Edwin is on his flying lap here. We'll ride him. Oh, he invalidates again, going through turn 4. Sam aiming to get a much better time, and he's 3.5 seconds up on his previous best. But he's still not had a good time as Crowan has spun on the exit of 14. So Sam, currently slowest man out on track. A 1:29.8 is just not a representative time. Currently Wissenheimer 6/10 down on previous best. Tim on an outlap. Tiamo on an outlap. Sam looking to improve. What can he do through sector 1? He's a 10th down on his previous best. But I reckon Sector 2 is going to be where he's had his issues. So what can he do through Sector 2? This should be a lot faster. Oh, he doesn't invalidate. He's lucky there. Game doesn't penalize him. Oh, he's going... He slid there, but he keeps his time because, once again, the game is stupid. 12.3 seconds up on his previous best. That's where he lost all the time. Into 13. Lots of skid marks and lockups. There's a McLaren ahead. Goes down one gear too many. Don't invalidate in the final corner. Across the line, 1:16.7. Still the slowest time. He's still behind Crazy Steve. So Sam is going to have to go again. Hyper on an outlap. Pookie on an outlap. Is there anyone on a timed lap here? Not Colin. Not Tim. He's almost 2 seconds down on his previous best. Not Snaps. Tiamo possibly. We'll ride on board with him for now. So he attacks the chicane. Looking really not in the best of shape. Oh, we've had a spin through turn 5. I think that's Sam. What is the sector time that Tiamo is going to set? He is 2 tenths up on his previous best. As he comes through turn 2, not 2, 12. He set the purple second sector. I don't know if that's a personal purple or what. Going around the final corner, don't invalidate. Across the line, 1:15.3. He's 4.5 tenths up on his previous best. Puts himself up into 6th. Meanwhile, Sam is coming into the pits. Leonard on an outlap. He's not having a very good session here, but then I think he's been on the medium tyres, and now he's on the soft compound tyres. Behind him is Pookie, who's invalidated. Colin and Faco on an outlap 2. Colin is invalidated. We're right on board with Leonard for now. 1:15.8 is his best time so far. We'll see what his sector times end up being. Going through turn... Ooh. Bit of a lag spike there. Overtake the traffic of Bradley. He's absolutely planted. He's 3 tenths up on his previous best. Don't invalidate her through turn 4. Nicely does it. Keep off the curbs. Don't go over the curbs or... whatever. You know what I mean. Don't go too far over the curbs or you'll invalidate. Not so tight through turn 8. Nicely does it through 9. Through 11. Nicely does it. Doesn't invalidate. He gets lucky. He's 6 tenths up on his previous best. This is looking good. He could put himself at least up into 4th, potentially. Depends how well his sector 3 goes. Through turn 14. DRS opens across the line and we get a 1:14.9. He's 2nd place. He's had a mega 3rd sector. But he's still 4 tenths behind Bradley in the Alfa Romeo. Give Bradley a full-time seat, Colin. Honestly. Ivan also coming across the line. He's on an outlap, however. Got a Ferrari behind. That is Snaps. Don't know if this time is going to be better or not. It's not better. He's 4.5 tenths down. He's giving an impromptu... Oh, he goes off the track the wrong way. He's giving an impromptu, what's it called? Slipstream to not Pierre Gasly here. Faco on a time lap, looking to improve his time. He's actually gone 9... Slightly faster than Leonard, actually. Is he on a timed lap now, or is he... He's slightly down on his previous best. Got a yellow flag in the 3rd sector. Colin retires. He has not crashed. Ivan retires too. Oh, and Faco goes round! Like it was in France. He's lost the rear end going through turn 8 there. Right on board with Dan Edwin in the White Bull. Bradley goes even faster, 1:14.3. Where is this man's pace coming from? You turn 2 now. Nicely does it, easily does it. Don't invalidate on the exit of 3. That's good. Now go into turn 4 and don't invalidate on the exit to turn 4 like you have so many times before. Yeah, he doesn't invalidate. He's gonna set an actual time here if he can keep it clean. Going through the chicane now. Oh, a little bit of oversteer there. Through 8. Through 9. Car's looking planted. This, just keep it up. Keep it up. Go through turn 11 now. Goes off the track. Commits to the off-track escapades. As if he immediately went back onto the track, then it would invalidate him. Through 13. What nice wide exit. Into turn 14. There's been a spin. Oh no, there has not. Across the line. Dan Edwin puts himself 10th, 1:15.4. Behind him is Pookie. Last week's winner. He's not looked so strong here, but he's 2.3 tenths up on his previous best. What can he do? Can he go into the 1:14s? He does. 1:14.9. He matches Ivan Hafterkamp. Ben Dixon goes fast. No, he doesn't go fastest. My mistake. He goes 1:14.9, faster than Faco, but still 6 tenths behind Bradley. Wisenheimer, what can he do here? Goes across the line, does not improve on his previous best. Same result improved. Faco's these old bots here. And Crowan is pulling into the pits. So that's the grid set, by the looks of things. Crowan, last man out on track. But he will not improve his time. Bradley takes pole. Ben Dixon second. Faco and Leonard take up the second row with just... Oh, that's only about 6 thousandths between them, isn't it? That is an incredibly close second row. So Faco and Leonard are looking to try and for a much better weekend here. Of course, Bradley, being a reserve driver, his points don't really matter. He's not in the championship hunt unless he gets a drive. But I don't think there's any seats available for him. So that's your grid. Bradley P1, Dixon P2, Faco P3, Leonard P4, Hyper P5, Ivan P6, pardon me, Pookie P7, Colin P8, Crowan P9, and Tiamo P10, Dan Edwin P11, Cringe P12, Snaps P13, Tim P14, Wisenheimer P15, Crazy Steve P16, and Sam P17 after he crashed. Five 0.573 faster. Bradley, what are your secrets? Are you secretly Michael Schumacher? Is this what Michael Schumacher has been doing all this time? He's not actually a vegetable? In fact, he's just playing video games? I needed an excuse to get out of my social life. No. Maybe that's offensive. Maybe I was unintentionally offensive there. I do that sometimes. Maybe I should have said Lewis Hamilton. I don't know. If people get offended, I'm sorry. I don't think sometimes. Especially not now. When have I ever been accused of thinking? Never. Anyway, on to the formation lap. What are the tyres that people are running with? I can see medium tyres in the field right now. With detail, position change, stops, tyre. Most of the... Who the hell is Rogacito? We seem to have picked up a straggler, someone who's not meant to be here. Unless it's Anas. Don't know who Rogacito is. But the entire top 10 is starting on mediums. The bottom 7 are starting on mediums. No, wait. Top 10 is starting as softs. My mistake. He's positions 11 to 17 starting in mediums, and this Rogacito person is starting on hards. Don't know who this person is, but I don't think they're meant to be here. I don't know. Could be mistaken. This could be someone else. Predicted pit stop strategies. One stop at lap 16. Didn't catch the rest. We'll run with the assumption that Rogacito is Anas, one of the missing drivers. We'll have to see. Going round the final corners. Snaps gets disqualified. Not really. Just gets reset to the grid for bumping into people on the outlap. Pardon me. There's the pit stop strategy. Starting on softs, you could go to lap 8 or 9 and then go into hards. I don't think people are going to be doing that. Need the camera to be proper here. The grid forms up. Last car moves into position. Here we go now. 5 lights on, and it's lights out, and away we go. Bradley gets a... Is it a good start? I don't know. It's looking like Ben Dixon has had an excellent start. It's neck and neck going into turn 1. Bradley... It's a contact. No, there is not. Maybe a little bit. But Bradley defends his pole position there. There's a Red Bull off in the distance there. That's Dan Edwin moving down the field. He's possibly being bumped out of turn 2. There's into turn 2 even. There's a Williams who's had come a cropper in turn 2. That's cringe F1 comments. Crowan up into P8. Let's look at the position changes. Currently, it's a equal position change. No position change for positions 1, 2, 6, 7, and 15. Hyper is up into 3rd after starting 5th. Faco and Leonard have had a squabble by the looks of things, moving down a place each. It's not going to be easy to overtake around here, as this is obviously Monaco without the walls. Bradley pulling away from Ben Dixon, 8 tenths already, and Faco has lost his helmet. Helmet glitch because the gate. Oh, there's a spin. Ivan goes round. I'm not so certain what's happened there, but both Red Bulls have had a disastrous first lap. Ivan is now down into P11. So that's just a disaster. Meanwhile, Sam is the last car on track. Not sure what's happened to him. McLaren coming into the pit. Dan Edwin coming into the pit. We've got front wing changes plenty here. Ben Dixon still 8 tenths behind Bradley. Hyper 4 tenths behind him, but Ben Dixon losing more and more time to Bradley in front. Closest battle on the field so far at the minute. Crowan and Pookie. Pookie has had a disconnection, possibly. So Pookie is having issues here. And he vanishes. He's now down into P14. Have to wait and see if he reappears back in his proper position. I know that Mokrain has had issues like that. Meanwhile, 1.2 seconds now separates Bradley and Ben Dixon as Bradley goes sets the fastest lap so far, 1:18.6. Meanwhile, Tiamo Power looking to overtake the Williams. Has a look into turn 1, but doesn't take his chance. We've got a yellow flag as Wissenheimer has gone off through turn 9, and he's lost his front wing, so I wouldn't be surprised if he retires. Bradley leading the field by 1.2 seconds. That number keeps climbing. Not certain what his car is set up for, but he's now extended his lead to 1.3 seconds. Lennart and Faco still fighting. Colin less than 4/10 behind Tiamo Power. Goes off the field to try and gain an advantage. Oh, Tiamo looking a bit slippery slidey through turn 10 there. 11, whatever. Yellow in sector 2. That's going to be Sam, who's messed up the chicane. Wissenheimer is pitting again. 1.6 seconds now separate Bradley from Ben Dixon. Hyper has the DRS now. Is he going to make a move? He's taking a look. He's right behind that Ferrari. He's going to get another chance into turn 2. Is he dumping his ERS? Let's take a look at the telemetry. He's not close enough to make a move just yet, but he's absolutely making it his mission. Less than 3/10 separate Ben Dixon from Hyper, who is currently perhaps the guy who's most likely to be able to chase down Bradley. But he's losing a bit of time. He's got the dirty air to contend with. Very smooth through the chicane, much smoother than I would be able to achieve. Less than 3/10 separate them. Is he going to make a move into turn 12? He's going to stay behind for now. He's even closer than before. He's less than 2/10 behind. Ben Dixon is making a meal out of turn 13. Absolutely, Hyper is waiting for the DRS. This is going to be his best chance at getting into second. He's up the inside into turn 14. Ben Dixon seems to be letting him past. He's not even using his ERS. He's just using the DRS to get past the Ferrari. And Hyper moves up into P2. But Ben Dixon is going to come back at him. He's used up all of his ERS trying to defend. And Hyper just has so much more to play with. Going around the outside, Ben Dixon is not making this easy for Hyper. He's got back up into P2. So Ben Dixon, even though he doesn't have any ERS to play with, Hyper should probably have used a bit more. So this is that was a bit of a dummy move by Hyper. He should have perhaps tried to make it a bit hard. What's the word? Tried to make more of an effort to get past. Meanwhile, it's Faco in P4. Lennart very close behind, but this is going to be a bit of a DRS train. And Dixon, meanwhile, has absolutely almost zero ERS to play with. He's only got 21%. Yes, Hyper is going to be using it now. Ben Dixon moves across to try and cover off the slipstream. But this time, I think Hyper is going to be able to make the move stick. No, he's going around the outside again. But he gets the DRS again this time. He managed to get P2. So now he's going to be able to freely chase down the Alfa Romeo. We've got people making pit stops already. Has the soft tyre fallen off the cliff? Possibly. Faco and Lennart. Faco onto the mediums, Lennart onto the hards. So Faco seems to be committing to a two-stop strategy here. The soft tyres have already fallen off the cliff, or at least that's how Faco and Lennart feel about it. Currently, Tiamo Power versus Anas or whoever gets a 3-second penalty. First person on the field to get a penalty. Pookie, meanwhile, has recovered back up to 9th place. But then again, that's because people ahead of him have pit. Pookie is in no man's land, so I think he may well still potentially... No, that's not AI movements. Meanwhile, Wisenheimer is ghosted as Tiamo Power comes into the pits. The first of the McLaren duo to be pitting. Oh, and Wisenheimer goes around, even though he's actually... What the hell is going on here? Whoa! Tiamo's having a glitch! Tiamo's had a pit glitch! What the hell is going on with Tiamo here? Tiamo's, what the hell was that? I've no idea what was going on with Tiamo there, but it looks like he was actually pitting, even though the game was absolutely 100% confused about where he thought he should be. Sam picks up a penalty, meanwhile. Currently closest battle on the track. Crazy Steve, 2/10 behind Roger Cito. Medium tyres versus hard tyres. The hard tyres will last longer, but they aren't as grippy. But it depends how long Crazy Steve can keep this attack up. He's lost a bit of ground to the AlphaTauri. 5/10 behind. 5.5 tenths. Gaining on the AlphaTauri. Goes off the track. Better to avoid the penalty or the warning, as Faco is actually right behind Crazy Steve here. Cringe, meanwhile, picks up a penalty as well. So can Crazy Steve get past the AlphaTauri, or can the AlphaTauri of Faco get past Crazy Steve? Well, Faco is very, very close behind. He's going to have DRS, but so is Crazy Steve. But Steve is not going to make it hard for the championship leader, who is now up into P8 behind his teammate. He's going to try and go around his teammate. And in fact, no, he isn't. Yes, he is in fact up into the P7. That's it. Meanwhile, Colin, 6/10 behind Ben Dixon, who is now 2.3 seconds behind Hyper. The soft tyres will surely be going off the cliff by now. There's a yellow flag. A car has come to a stop just outside of turn 13. That's Sam, who's spun. Ben Dixon once again making an absolute meal of turn 13, but he's coming into the pits anyway. Let's hope that the game doesn't have a fit over where he is this time. It doesn't look like it. Where's he going to come out? Unsafe pit release is on, but it won't matter. This has been... Faco goes fastest, 1:18.3 so far. He's up into P5 with all the pit stops. And he's ahead of... Surely he's ahead of Tim there. No, he isn't. That's Sam, who he's behind. Bradley has made a pit stop as well. And in fact, Faco has jumped Bradley. So the undercut has worked here. Bradley is now behind Faco ways. I did not see that coming. So who is up in the lead right now? It is Hyper on the very worn softs, I would imagine. Getting a bit of a wobble through turn 9. 8-lap-old softs. Those things will be very second-hand by now. Collins is also on the soft tyres. So where do they go now? Snaps and Tim, 10 positions up thanks to pit stops. As Hyper comes to the pits now, there's a car going off that looked like it was Tim, potentially. No, it was Sam. Where does Hyper come out? Right on board for the pit stop. He's putting hard tyres on. Hard tyres go on. The good stop. He's going to lose position. He's already lost position to Snaps and Tim and Colin. Faco and Bradley jump Hyper. So Hyper has not jumped Bradley there, but Faco is, I suppose, technically in the lead of the race. Leonard going around the outside now, making his move. And Leonard going up the inside of turn 2. There's contact, a bit of a wheel bump between the Aston Martin and the Mercedes. And Leonard gets the move made. So Hyper has lost out here. And that's given full reign of the racetrack to Leonard and Fakeaways. Fako is in the net lead of the race, I do believe. Snaps on the tail of Colin, who is on very worn soft tyres. Colin is going to need to pit. He's going to be undercut, I think, as he is coming into the pits now. As Fako is 7.5 seconds behind. So Fako is going to overtake Colin here, without a shadow of a doubt. And there's a car gone off. That is Wisenheimer retiring in turn 14. Will that bring out a safety car? Fako and Bradley. Bradley is chasing down Fako. His hard tyres will last longer than Fako's mediums. Bradley is definitely the faster driver here, but he's not able to get the move done into turn 2. So he's going to have to hold off for much of the rest of the lap. As Crowan retires. What's going on for Crowan there? See what's happened here. I think he's lost the rear end out of turn 1. As Ivan comes to a stop. We've had a safety car even. Crowan has crashed and called out the safety car. So this is actually suddenly the race has fallen to the favor of Snaps here, or even Tim. Snaps 8 seconds ahead of Tim. He's got a penalty, however. So Snaps could looks like he's going to what's the word? I can't think of the right word. He's going to gain from this, basically. He's going to get an advantage, I think. But Fako is still quite close behind. But will he be able to keep his lead? Will Snaps be able to keep the lead even? Fako is able to keep the speed up. And no, Snaps is not going to keep the lead. So it's not worked out too well for Snaps. But he is up into net 3rd place. So that's going to be irritating for Leonard, who finds yet another car in front of him. Between him and Fako. And Bradley. Everyone's pitting now. Crazy Steve. Both the Red Bulls. And the second AlphaTauri of Rogacito. So we're going to be waiting a while for this safety car to come to an end, as Cringe is all the way around in Sector 3, whilst everyone else is in Sector 2. So everyone's bunching up. Take a look at this gorgeous white Red Bull. Let's hide the UI. Excuse me. Hold the UI off, please. Take a good look at this car, because apparently it's not going to be in the game for very long. I wish they just made it an optional skin rather than just make it a temporary thing. I want to keep it. But I suppose there'll be mods that come along. People rip it from the files and enable you to keep driving with it. And hey, it's an official mod, technically. It's official. You won't have to contend with poor third-party skins. Let's say e-technology on the side. Or does it say Honda Hybrid? I don't know. I think it says e-technology. It's probably the same with the AlphaTauri too. It does. Don't know why it says e-technology. But whatever. So I reckon the next lap will be where the safety car comes in. As long as Cringe can catch up. So Faco, in the lead of the race. He had an absolutely mega first stint. He pitted at exactly the right time. And he's on the right tyres too. But he may have to pit again. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if he had to pit again. The mediums might not last long enough. Whilst Bradley is on one of the suggested strategies. He did stop for hard tyres, and those are predicted to be able to go for the rest of the Grand Prix. But of course they're hard tyres. And when they get worn, they will be really quite bad. Safety car in this lap. Faco controlling the field, waiting for that Mercedes AMG GTR to enter the pit lane. You're going to need to slow down a bit more. Weaving side to side, get the heat into those tyres. Safety car comes around the final corner now. Into the pit lane it goes. What sort of... Well, I think Bradley is going to have a very good start here, as Faco has not had a very good restart. Bradley was on the button there. 2/10 between them. So you go into turn 1. What's the ERS usage like? Well, Faco got a little bit of a snap there. Using a bit of the ERS on the exit to turn 1. Almost equal with the ERS. Faco pulling slightly ahead now. Possibly Bradley has a bit less downforce. Already there's been a spin. The second AlphaTauri of Rocacito is down at turn 2. Something's gone wrong for the AlphaTauri there. Faco pulling slightly ahead of Bradley, but not as far ahead as Bradley was of Ben Dixon at the beginning of the race. Meanwhile, Snaps has a second between him and Bradley. It's looking like it's going to be a fight for the victory between Faco and Bradley here. As Dan Edwin picks up a penalty. Bradley has had a very good, strong third sector there. The gap was down to below 5/10. Now Faco dumping the ERS. Gap increasing slightly down to around 5/10. Not able to pull away from the Red Bull as he... Not the Red Bull, the Alfa Romeo as he might like. Found a bit of time out of turn 1 though. The AlphaTauri found a bit of traction now. The gap is up to almost 7/10. But, oh, he's had a bit of a shoddy exit through turn 4. The gap has come down to less than 3/10. So Faco has had a really shocking turn 3. I mean, not turn 4. Bradley taking a look into the chicane, but you really can't overtake there. 4/10 separate them once again. Faco is gonna want the dirty air to have an effect on Bradley here. 5/10 separate them once again as Bradley's tyres seem to be letting him down here. Gap is up to 6/10 now, but the car's finding just a bit more time. 6/10 still. So Faco has made up for his mistake, and Bradley has not been able to capitalize on that mistake, but now DRS is enabled, and Bradley is going to have the ability to get a bit closer on the next lap. As the DRS zone there, this DRS zone here does not have a detection point. Down the field, you see Leonard is going to be able to make a move on Snaps as well, as he's less than 5/10 behind the Ferrari, who is losing time to the Alfa Romeo in front. The squabble for P1. Bradley losing more time. He's the gap up to 6.5/10. You know, Colin and Ben Dixon. Ben Dixon very close to Hyper there, actually. Gap was down to less than a 10th. I think Hyper has not had a very good exit through turn 8. Well, a look back at the lead now. The gap is still 6.5 tenths. It's up to 7 tenths now. Oh, close to 7.5 tenths. And Faco is gradually eking that gap out, but he's still within the DRS. So he's going to be using his ERS to try and keep the gap down. But Bradley is able to close in almost 2 tenths. Oh, that's very, very close there. He's had so much time on the main straight. That's how powerful the DRS is around here. And when Faco is going to have to build that gap up again through the lap. But Bradley has used quite a lot of ERS doing that. He was trying to gain his the position on that turn, and he's used quite a lot of it. Whilst Faco still has a fair amount. You know, Leonard was not able to make the move on snaps. And there's a bit of a DRS train forming behind the Ferrari, who is now almost 2 seconds behind the Alfa Romeo in P2. And with his 3-second time penalty, that is a 3-second penalty, isn't it? Yes, it is. With his 3-second penalty, that would move him down to, I believe, at a minimum of P7, I think. Meanwhile, Bradley is once again using the DRS. He doesn't have as much ERS to play with. And this time the gap is not as close as it was the lap before. And this time he's not using the ERS on the second DRS straight. Oh, bit of a lag spike there. But the gap has once again come down to less than 5 tenths. Could Faco's tyres be going off? Well, the gap is certainly building. Leonard not able to make his way past the Ferrari again. And it looks like down the field we've got a Red Bull going around the outside of Tiamo Power for a position that won't pay any points, but a good move nonetheless. We'll have to be able to make some ground on Crazy Steve in front, but he's got a bunch of penalties. So not the most ideal situation for Dan Edwin. Oh, Bradley's had a mistake. No, oh no. Bradley's internet is having issues again. And so now he finds himself down in P7. Bradley, fix your internet, boy. That was gonna be such a good battle, and now we've been robbed of that. So that now promotes Snaps up into P2. Leonard trying to go around the outside. Not on this occasion. Oh, and a bit of a snapper oversteer on the exit of turn 1. Leonard absolutely desperate to get past the Ferrari here, and I don't think the Ferrari is. No, the Ferrari's going around the outside. He's going to have the inside for turn 3. He's not making it easy for the Aston Martin, who smells blood in the water. But he's not going to be able to get the move made on this lap. He's going to have to wait until lap 20, but he is so close to the Ferrari here. He's going to have to keep as close as he can. Snaps some stellar defending here for a position that he's not going to be able to keep. But he obviously wants to try and minimize the damage. I don't know how far behind he is, Faco, who now has been gifted the race lead. He's just cruising away in front now. Leonard very close up to the diffuser of that Ferrari. Thought he was going to go into the pits for a second there. So I'm on board to see what he can do. He doesn't have a lot of ERS to play with, and the gap is 4 tenths. But it's incredibly close. He used a lot of his ERS. He's got the inside for turn 1 now. Is he able to make it stick? Snaps has a lot more ERS to play with, but he's not going to be using it. He's deciding he's not used it. Leonard has made the position up. Leonard's into P2 now. He's able to chase down Faco, but he's used up a lot of his ERS. And Snaps is now going to be having to try and defend from a hyper in the Mercedes. His teammate Ben Dixon, who doesn't have a penalty, and the second Aston Martin of Colin Hogenberg. Look, Ben Dixon was drifting through the corner by the looks of things there. Colin smelling the blood in the water. Oh, we've had a car going wide there, I think. Not certain. Oh, don't hit the microphone, mate. Snaps has made up some time to Leonard, I think. So he's going to have some DRS, so it's not ideal for the drivers behind unless Leonard can make up some time through turn 13. No. Snaps is very close to Leonard. Possibly he's got a car that's better suited for the... Oh, Faco is pitting. Faco pitting. So I'm not certain why he's pitting here. Oh, he's got front wing damage. He's made a mistake. So Faco is out of the running for the race here. And Bradley's once again having connection issues. So Faco has had an absolute disaster here. Something's gone wrong with his front wing, which has promoted Leonard up into the lead, which could mean an unlikely Aston Martin victory here. A victory we didn't see coming, but Snaps is coming back at Leonard here. He smells the blood in the water now. He thinks, oh wait, I could get the win here. As Leonard loses the back end for a second. Snaps is making his move. He's used a lot of his ERS. Bit slidey through turn 11 though. Not looking the most planted. But Snaps, we're looking to get into the lead. We could be on for a Ferrari victory here if Snaps can make it, but he wasn't quite as wide as I thought he was. Leonard going very wide on the exit. Snaps will have the DRS. He's got plenty of ERS to play with. Leonard is going to use as much ERS as he can, trying to break the toe. The Ferrari right behind him, going into turn 1. Does he have the outside? He's not being able to get side by side with the Aston Martin there. Onto the second DRS zone. He's not able to make the move stick. So he's going to have to wait for the next lap. Leonard's very fast in a straight line, but not so good through the twisty-turny sections of Sector 2. And in fact, he's lost a bit of time to Leonard there. There's going to be a DRS train forming now. Leonard is the head of that train, where Snaps had virtually zero pace before. Suddenly, he's found some of that pace. Could Leonard have damage? I don't know. It doesn't look like it. But he is on hard tyres, which aren't as grippy. Actually, Snaps is on hard tyres too. Everyone's on hard tyres, I think. Let's look at the tyres. Almost everyone on hard tyres except Rochacito, Faco, Crazy Steve and Dan Edwin. And in fact, Snaps has had a terrible Sector 3 there and has fallen out of the DRS of Leonard. And although he makes up some time on the straight, it's not going to be enough. Leonard was more than a second ahead there for a moment. But the gap has fallen down again as Snaps is starting to recover. Faco sets the fastest lap of the session so far, 1:15.596. Not going to count to anything at the moment, as he is down in 14th place as Pookie picks up a time penalty. And last week's winner is not going to finish in P6 if the race ends right now. Leonard now has a second separating him and Snaps. Can he keep that gap up? Well, Snaps goes wide and promotes Hyper up into P2 and his teammate Ben Dixon. So Snaps' defense of P2 comes to a unfortunate end there, and now Hyper is released into P2 to see what he can do, see if he can catch up to Leonard. But it's not he is finding some time in the straights. He's using his ERS. Leonard is having to save his. Taking it quite gingerly through turn 1 by the looks of things. And in fact, Hyper has found a couple of tenths. He's at 1.5 seconds behind Leonard now. Bendixen 5 tenths behind him. Snaps 4 tenths, 5 tenths now behind him. And the DRS zone now starts with Hyper, who is going to try and tow these guys behind him, see if they can catch Leonard ahead. But Leonard isn't putting a foot wrong here. Hyper has had a bit of a shoddy start to Sector 2 here. He's 1.8 down. And that's looking like Bendixen could find his way back up into P2, where he started the race. 4 tenths behind the Mercedes now. This is Hyper not having the not had the best lap 24 here. There's 11 laps of the race to go at the moment. There will be 10 in just a few seconds. What can Bendixen do? How much ERS does he have to play with? Not as much as Hyper. And it didn't look like it had a very good exit of turn 14 there. No ERS in use, actually. Unless I missed some. I think Hyper has actually used a bit. The DRS train is long. Choo-choo goes the DRS train. Hyper has got back up to within 1.5 seconds of Leonard. And it's up to him to see if he can perform Sector 2 a lot better. It's the chicane that is the real issue. He's down to 1.4 seconds. And he's got that chicane much better this time around. So the gap is mostly plateaued around 1.3, 1.4 seconds, as Colin has got past Pookie through turn 11, and Snaps as well. Snaps has gone off at turn 11 again by the looks of things, so unfortunately the guy who was looking like he could get into the lead has made the same mistake about 2 laps in a row, I think. Hyper, meanwhile, losing time. The time plateauing somewhat, but lost mainly a slight loss of time. Bendixen, 4 tenths behind him. 3 tenths now. 4 tenths again. Tim goes fastest, 117.2, but he's down in 13th place. It won't mean anything. Faco has got up into P12. Meanwhile, it's now got a race of damage limitation for Faco, who picked up some front wing damage. See if he can get back up into the points, but it's going to be a very bad race for the championship leader, and it's going to be a very good race for Leonard, the Season 1 champion, who will make significant inroads on Faco's championship. Just needs to keep it clean. 1.6 seconds separates him and the Mercedes of Hyper behind. 6 tenths separate Hyper and Bendixen, who is not been able to capitalize on Hyper's pace here on the DRS. The DRS train goes choo-choo once again. And 7 tenths are separating Hyper and Bendixen now. It's not been a very good exit of turn 14. And in fact, Colin is trying to make his way past Bendixen here. Takes a look up in the inside. He's poking his nose in. He's having a look side by side. Is he going to make the move stick? No, he can't. Bendixen cuts him off. He's going to have to wait for the next lap, but Bendixen does not have the ERS to play with this round here. He's almost down. He's down into the single digits. Colin, meanwhile, is able to... He's up. He doesn't have much more, but it's still more than Bendixen has. Meanwhile, Pookie is 3 tenths behind him. Just under 3 tenths for a moment there, but he's not had a very good chicane. Hyper has closed the gap somewhat, but it's still not a lot. 1.3 seconds. There's a yellow flag. We've got a Ferrari who's gone round or wide. It snaps again. Down into P10. Meanwhile, Faco very close to the diffuser. Right at the chuff of that Williams. He's going to want to get past the Williams, as he is, I think, the fastest man on track at the moment. And I don't think Cringe is going to really try and fight it. He has a bunch of penalties, whilst Faco does not. He's been able to keep it very clean. Meanwhile, Colin has not been able to get past Ben Dixon. He still has the DRS on Hyper. And Faco is now got the DRS, using the ERS as well on Cringe, who is, to his credit, defending. But he's gone a bit deep, quite wide into turn 1. He's going to try and fight it back. But he's gonna have the inside. He clonks the inside of Faco and he spins around. That's your own fault, I think, Cringe. So he tried to defend a position he was never going to be able to keep because of his penalties there. So Faco, don't know if he'll have floor damage. He gets a bit wobbly on the exit of turn 5. But now he is the fastest man on track. Oh, we've had a retirement. And there's another safety car, as there's been a retirement. Ivan Hafterkamp has had a crash, and that poor white Red Bull has been utterly obliterated. And this is going to be giving a bunch of people the ability to pit. Is a race in the pit lane. Colin staying out, as his teammate Leonard comes into the pits, as well as the Ferrari of Ben Dixon, and just to keep his position. Tiamo also pitting with a Red Bull behind. Oh, and Tiamo having more strange pit stop issues. I didn't think he left when he actually had. Pookie, right behind Dan Edwin, last week's race winner. Colin has stayed out, probably trying to try his luck on these tyres, but let's look at the tyres. So Colin on 17-lap-old hard tyres. Everyone else has gone on to softs. Tim on 4-lap-old softs. Bradley on 18-lap-old hards. Bradley, I think, is still an AI, if I'm honest. I don't know. This is going to reset the field. And I think what the guys at the Aston Martin duo are planning here is that Colin will let Lennox pass at some point, and then he'll defend for all his might. Try and keep P2 if he can, but those hard tyres are going to be decidedly second-hand. Whilst the fresh softs of Hyper, Ben Dixon, mostly fresh softs of Tim. I can't see how how Colin could really keep P2 here. Try not to crash into each other, guys. Let's look at the penalties. Tim has 3 seconds worth of penalties. Dan Edwin has 9, so he will not be keeping P6. He'd have to get a monster lead on anyone to keep P6. And this is not going to be ideal for him, as this will probably put him out of the points, depending on how close the field stays bunched up. Pookie has 3 seconds. Tiamo has 3 seconds. Crazy Steve has 9 seconds. So at this rate, every position from P5 to P10, well, most of the positions anyway, they'll stay mostly the same. Pookie, Tiamo, and Snaps will move up 1 position each. I think Snaps may at least maybe even 2 seconds positions. I think Snaps was angrily revving his engine there, thinking about what could have been. He was up into P2, but a couple of poor mistakes have put him down into P10 here. And with Faco behind, with no penalties to his name, I think Snaps is going to fall out of the points here. Safety car in this lap. Oh, Colin has made a mistake. He's lost his front wing. Colin has made a major mistake. I think he's clonked the safety car. He's going to have to pit, so the strategy, if there was one, has absolutely fallen apart. 5-second penalties for ignoring yellow flags. Those will get contested without a doubt. That's a BS penalty as we come round to start the final 4 laps of this race. Lennart in the lead, Hyper in P2 with a BS 5-second penalty. I think if Hyper can get Lennart on track here, that should be a victory for Hyper, as the FIA will almost certainly take that BS penalty away. I thought Lennart was going round for a second there. He is not. Hyper is 0.6 behind Lennart. He's not able to make the inroads. The DRS will not be active until lap 33. The end of lap 32. Ben Dixon, meanwhile, is 1.5 seconds behind Hyper, so he has had a nightmare restart. And Colin, who was on track for some good points, is now in dead last. He is not going to get any points this afternoon, unless another safety car comes out. Dan Edwin, so this has been a very strange session. The whole bunch of pointless, stupid penalties. Dan Edwin will not finish 4th here, as Hyper sets the fastest lap of the race, 1:16.6. He is incredibly close to the Aston Martin ahead. I don't think the Aston Martins are really built well for this track. Lennart, who was very good on F1 2020, is not having the best of luck on F1 2021. I need to keep my mouth wet. I'm gonna go oh, God. He's actually lost some time. He's down to 0.6. I think Lennart has a lot more downforce than Hyper does. Meanwhile, Faco is up into P8. It should be P8, depending on what the penalty situation is like. Everyone ahead has 3-second time penalties. There's a couple of BS 5-second time penalties, but Faco has just picked up a 3-second penalty himself. So, unfortunately, that was really unfortunate, as he was looking on to get some incredibly good points for an excellent recovery drive, but he's just thrown it all away, and now he's up into P7 now. He has to fight for position on track rather than relying on the penalties. So that's an absolute disaster. Meanwhile, Pookie has just got past the white Red Bull of Dan Edwin, who's trying to fight back, but there's no real point. He has a whole bunch of penalties to his name. Meanwhile, this lap, Hyper has only a few chances to get past Lennart. Both these cars have very similar amounts of ERS to play with. Meanwhile, Bradley is down in last place. Colin has retired. The bot, unfortunately, Bradley has not been able to rejoin. So, unfortunately, Bradley, who set the pole time and was the fastest man on track for much of this race, has been let down by shoddy internet. Meanwhile, Faco is going to have the DRS on Tim. He's very close to the Alpine right now. Don't conk the back of it. Goes slightly wide to avoid it. Absolutely one of the fastest men on track at the minute. He's going to have the DRS. He's going to use the ERS as well. Is Tim going to fight it? I would think so. No, he doesn't. He covers off the outside, but he doesn't make it too hard for Faco, who is now back up into P6. He has 2 laps to get up into P5, but he's going to have that anyway because of Dan Edwin's penalties. So this should be at least a P5 finish for Faco, which is not a bad result, I suppose, for the championship leader. But we should stick with the top 2 battle for now. Every other battle is inconsequential. This is Lennart versus Hyper. Hyper has got the faster car in a straight line, but Lennart has the pace through the corners. Or do I can't really tell. The Hyper has actually made up a bit of ground here. He's gonna have the DRS. But Lennart has the ERS. There's only one lap left, really, for Hyper to make this move. He's using the ERS on the entry to turn 13. Lennart's a little bit wide. This is the only real chance he's going to have going into turn 1. Lennart covers off the outside, the inside. Hyper around the outside. And Hyper's going to have the DRS through into turn 2. He's going to have the inside for turn 2. And Lennart is fallen behind. Hyper is up into P1. He's got the lead for now through turn 3. Up into turn 4. They are neck and neck. But Lennart does not have the car here. There's only one opportunity, I think, for Lennart to be able to get back past Hyper. And that's going to be turn 12. Oh my god. Hyper. This could be Hyper's first victory in the CRS series. He's been with us for at least one season. I know he was in the last season. No, Lennart's not close enough. Hyper's gonna win. Hyper has taken the lead of the race and the race victory from Lennart on the final lap. He's gonna take P1 on the road with a BS 5-second penalty that is almost certainly going to be removed. Hyper is your winner today. Hyper takes victory on the road, though Lennart gets promoted. We'll have to see how the FIA sorts this out. But I think that's Hyper I think Hyper is going to keep that race victory. But we'll see. Either way, that was an excellent battle for the win there. Snaps takes driver of the day. In game, at least. Whoever takes the win from this, it was a well-deserved victory. Lennart or Hyper, your race victory, your race winner today. That was a pretty good race in the end. It was looking like it was going to be a bit shoddy, but there we go. Hyper / Lennart, your race winner. Yeah, we'll have to see what the race director says about that. What was Hyper's... There's a whole load of warnings here. Hyper had a perfect race up until the second safety car. Exceeded track limits. Where is Hyper? Unserved penalty of 5 seconds. Ignoring yellow flags, apparently. So on track at the end of the race, Lennart is the unofficial race winner. Hyper P2, Pookie P3, Bendixon P4, Faco P5 with an excellent recovery, Snaps P6, Dan Edwin P7, Tiamo P8, Tim P9, and Crazy Steve P10. I think those are his first points. So yeah, and then Cringe is P11. Roger Cito comes P12, Bradley P13, and Colin is 4 laps down. He gets classified even though he retired. So, yeah, in the end, that was a pretty decent race, I'd say. Could have been better, could have been worse. Yeah. That was a... my heart was in my mouth for that battle at the end. So, Faco gets 10 more points, but Lennart will get at least 18 points from this race. We'll have to see what the FIA says about it. I can hear music. I swear I can hear music. I'm hearing things. Let's see. What? Come on, mouse. Right. So, Ivan overdrove it and lost it in Sector 2. Yeah. We knew that you lost it. At least that confirms that it was not a collision. But yeah, I'm pretty certain that's going to be Hyper taking the victory. But we'll have to see. I think Hyper's that. Yeah, as I've said a million times before, whoever won that, whoever gets the victory in the end, it was well deserved. Fantastic last few laps, and I'm losing my voice, so I've got to go now. Thank you very much for watching, guys. I hope this stream was up to your standards, and hopefully it's not been completely silent. But yeah, thank you very much for watching, everyone, and I'll see you hopefully this Sunday for a Tier 2 race that I will be taking part in. So it won't. I will be using my headphone microphone for that. Losing my voice. Yeah, thank you very much for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time. Good night.